that wallahi, we have to rescue this country. What is the meaning of the word depraved?
In fact, even Roland put it to Honorable Mesa about Kumi Preko.
So if you say something has been depraved, right, and you look at all the things that have happened, some of the things that have happened at the presidency or from the presidency, you cannot change it. And that's what brings me to the earlier point I raised, that the politicians are trying so hard to set the agenda for us.
Depraved, morally corrupt,
right,
wicked, perverted.
Right.
Morally corrupt, wicked, perverted. If you say you're depraved, you are morally wicked.
Right.
You are corrupt.
Now, somebody said that it was okay because it's English language. The people who had the demonstration are learned people. At least there are two lawyers that we know, Oliver Bakavomawo and Martin Kpebu, right? Beyond them, there are engineers, there are doctors, there are teachers, there are media people, there are all manner of people who came out there. So they are not non-entities or nincompoops. They are very well positioned people in society. That's number one. Number two, they decided that they want to do Occupy Julobi House. Do you think that they didn't know what Occupy Julobi means? They wanted to send a message. And you see, the government people are not talking about the issues that were raised at the demonstration. They are worried about the name that the people put on the demonstration. Salam, a youth organizer of the party, or the youth organizer of the party, is not worried about the issues they raise. He says they are rehash.
Is that rhetorics?
Yes, and that the government is already working with us, so you know. So that is the posture of the party and the government, if you will. They are interested in what name there is, not the issues that were raised, and that's where the problem is.
Okay, so yesterday I spoke to one editor, and the issue, if you say the place somebody is corrupt, somebody is indecent, all those kind of things, those are just your opinion of the person. This is a conversation I had with an editor. With the same thing, we're just trying to figure out a decision on whether to use it or not. But the point was that if you break down the word Julobi, son of a thief, then you are ascribing criminality to whoever you are targeting in that demonstration. All other words that we've said this morning, I just can be qualified as opinions. If I say Johnny is incompetent, I mean, that's how I feel about him. If I say he's arrogant, that's how I feel about him. If I say he's brilliant, but if I say he's a son of a thief, then defamation, criminal ascription, and things will come in. So that's where the conversation was. All the words that we've used this morning, depraved, if you look at the definition of those words, they don't ascribe criminality to anybody. Because if you say somebody is a thief, that is a crime. Like you are ascribing criminality to the person. And so,
they feel like they've been robbed of their future.
But you see, stealing is not a feeling. That's what I'm saying. If you want to express your feeling, use the right words. That's, I mean, just on the face of the argument.
For me,
for feeling sake. But as soon as you drop in criminal terms, then somebody can take you on and sue. So that if you are saying that, because yesterday I heard the gentleman who came here and said they were targeting to present the thing to the president. They would say the president should resign. So almost everybody is saying that the whole thing was directed at the president and mismanagement. If you say somebody said he has mismanaged the economy, that's your opinion. And so that's one. But number two, for us, as Johnny is saying, as journalists, we are reporting.
That's right.
That is what
it's a hashtag.
Yes.
And so if
you can't
that's what is being said.
You can't alter it.
And why would I go and then it's also wrong for us to go and change the name of the demonstration. To say Occupy Flagstaff House. That's not the name of the demonstration. The name of the demonstration is Julobi House. But if somebody is sitting in this studio and say that Nane Akufo-Addo, just this discussion, is a thief. Me hosting the show, I don't stop him. I go on with him. I encourage him to go on and on and on. Nane Akufo-Addo sues, I will be sued. So that we should get a distinction. Are they saying that we the press entertaining them to call whoever the target is the son of a thief, or we are just reporting what happened using the name of the event? So using the name of the event, does it break the ethics of the profession?
Okay, let's we'll come back to this conversation. We'll talk to Nanaya Osapon shortly. And that's the Winneba Youth Choir there singing Alan Tremantian. You name to it. Alan Tremantin is the one that we know. Nanaya Osapon is a personal assistant to Mr. Alan Kuji Tremantin, who broke away from the NPP yesterday to start a whole new movement for change. Nana, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. How are you?
Good morning, Johnny.
And how are you doing?
By the grace of God, you're doing fine yourself.
I'm fine. I'm greater than Accra. I'm sure you've been monitoring the conversations around.
The government will not allow this.
The government is my uncle. now, I'm sure you've been monitoring the conversations following Mr. Chamanting's decision to move away from the NPP and start his own movement for change. Your initial reactions?
Okay, Johnny, I would want to say good morning to your listeners. I don't know if you're live on Facebook. If you are,
we are live on Facebook as well.
Good morning,
yes.
To your viewers, also both local and international. Personally, I think that it's a good call. I believe he's made a right decision. He's my boss. I support him wholeheartedly. And I think that there are many, many, many young Ghanaians out there, captains of industry, business entrepreneurs, who are also very much excited about this move. And I believe that if you did listen to Alan very well, he made us understand that indeed he joined the NPP, not in fact, he's founded member of the NPP. He's paid dues. And he, when he was a member, had some values, some principles on which he did join. Talked about the values of fairness, values of transparency, accountability, equity, probity, transparency. And these were the values for which the NDC propagated, and that made him a founding member. But in his view, it's not the same again. And I won't agree any less. I think that the values of the NPP isn't what we see today. What is happening today is a group of unnamed individuals who have decided to put the party in their own pocket and to do whatever they want to do with the party. The party having a constitution, the party bringing out guidelines for presidential primaries, and some people sit down and think that, listen, in as much as there are guidelines, in as much as we do have a constitution, we aren't going to use it to an extent that somebody like Jacob had to actually refrain the process when the guideline was turned down. And so if based on principles, which is things has been truncated, has been down, he decides to withdraw from present himself to Ghanaian as a new hope, as the new or the third force to bring about transformational change.
Right.
I think that I would go with him. I think that he's made the right call and the right decision. And that is what is actually giving us the trend. I don't think, Johnny, you will wake up in the morning with this your huge platform with and others on the seat would have called was right way that had taken such a decision. Because that something is somebody who has a competence, somebody who has a character, somebody who has a vision and willing to help Ghana has taken a decision. And that's why we're having this conversation. And I think it's good.
Great. Now, does it mean that all those who originally were NPP members who are following Mr. Alan Tremantin now have also resigned from the NPP?
The constitution of the NPP makes it clear that when you have supported any other act or any other, not movement, but any other person that presents himself as against what the party will present, it means that you are automatically giving up your membership. And so, as I said, Johnny, I do not need the General Secretary to tell me this. I do not need the national organizer to come on radio to come and make noise about it.
Right.
We know the consequence. But what is important is the redemption of the country, redeeming the country in hope days, redeeming the country and presenting a character who has a transformational and presented it on the table. That is what is most. I think that it is time we shift away from the geopolitics. We shift away from the everyday NPP. Well, Johnny, you are tired of. I've been listening to you. You're always tired of the NPP. You're tired of the NDC. They're all doing the same things all at the same time. But what we're calling out for is for leadership. We're calling for leadership that can take this country to the next level. And that is what you and I call out for.
The popular NPP people have said that your walk away is a betrayal and a stab in the back because you are all in the works towards breaking the eighth. Now you have checked out and you are preaching change on your own, and that is not fair. What do you say to that?
Their continuous silence, the victimization of Alan John Kojo Tramantin is what is not fair. Their continuous silence, the violence that the MP is not known for, what's not fair. Their continuous silence in stopping every single individual, bringing all well-meaning members, taking their own, not fair. What happens? You and I, when you in the countries,
You're not audible. You need to speak up for me a bit.
Yes.
Yes.
I have. My apologies.
Great.
I told the producer that I was somewhere that I couldn't
Great.
speak out.
Great.
But what I'm saying is that Alan John Kojo Tramantin, since 2007, 2008 coming, has been the victim and everybody knows it. He made the greatest sacrifice at Lagos when there was supposed to be a second round, and then pronounced Nana Danko, then candidate Akufo-Addo, as a senior brother, and for that matter, should go ahead and be pronounced the winner of that morning or the 372-hour time. The audios and the videos are still there. What did Danado say? What has he? Has Allah not sacrificed enough? Has he not committed enough? Has he not helped the NPP to achieve enough? Tony, I know you are an experienced and journalist and one person who does a lot of research before you come on set. Compare all of the ministers, the cabinet ministers, what they have done, and see if there is any that would outperform that of Alan John Kojo Tramantin at the Ministry of Trade and Industry. His achievement: over 5 automobile companies assembling and manufacturing cars and components in this country. The AFCFTA, 67 business resource centers. The programs he brought down the private sector, including the business regulatory reform, and many others. This is a man who has achieved. This is a man who has worked with the little resource that was given him as a minister. You do not think that if he is put in the hem of us, bring about information? You think that the many people out there who are crying for change, who are crying for hope for the future, do not just enough?
I see. Nana, there's a certain history regarding the Fourth Republic. Dr. Reku Brobe broke away from the NPP to form his own party, the UGM. He contested President Kufuor and lost. In that same vein, Mr. Gusitano broke away from the NDC to go and form the RFP. He lost. Subsequently, you have Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum. He checked out of the CPP to form the PPP. He lost. And you can go on and on and on. That history of breaking away to go and lose, does that not scare you and the now independent-minded Alan Tremanting going into the 2024 elections?
We're in a different dispensation. We're in a different dispensation. We're in a dispensation where you and I are tired of the job. We're in a dispensation where what you need is a leader who has integrity. We're in a dispensation where what you need is a leader who has a vision for transformation. We are in a dispensation where we need a leader who walks the talk. We're in a dispensation where the youth are crying for help, they're crying for hope. This is a different dispensation. The weight of Papa Kusi is different of Alan John Kojo Shamanton. I mean that when they had broken away, it carried much, for lack of a better expression, significance, like what we are experiencing today. I think that Alan has nationally and locally. I think that, and I believe that he has what it takes to win the election. And especially when, you have always said that we are tired of them. Especially when you are always crying that we need a transformation leader. I think that we will bring about that. There will be a paradigm shift. You will see what you have not seen before in this country. It happens in other jurisdictions. Ghana is no different. If we have the like mind of those who are indeed calling for hope and transformation, if the captains of industry who believe in the leadership of Alan John Kojo Shamanton, if we have the youth who think that Alan carries what we really are looking for, I don't think that we would go into December 2024 with our hands full. No, we're going to go into 2024 December with a victorious hands up. Yes.
Now, Mr. Sapon, the Alan Tremanting is talking about change. In fact, yesterday there was a tweet, a certain association and some solidarity with the occupied Julobi house. And then he says that the police did not handle the situation well, and that the key things they're talking about, unemployment and all the issues, are very germane issues, and that if he is chosen, he is committed to bringing about change. But he was also part of the economic management team, the solid economic management team. He was part of the group that told us about change in 2016 and reiterated that change and the continuation of the change that we were supposed to have experienced in 2016 in 2021. Why is he talking about change again? Did the change not come in the first place?
But being a part of a team does not give you the hem of affairs. Being a part of a team does not give you absolute control to direct affairs. That is what we should know, and that is what we should appreciate. He did his part as a member of the economic management team. He did what he could do. You can present all you want to present. If the person who is chairman, if the person who leads the team decides not to look at it, what do you say? You only pray and hope that one day when you are given the wheel, one day when you are given the opportunity to steer the affair, you do your best and implement whatever that you have put on paper or whatever is that you're thinking was. And of course, yes, every single individual that you interviewed, those who participated in the protest, would say is that, listen, we are tired of NDC, tired of NPP. We need a change. We hope. We need jobs. And if Alan can deliver or give what we are calling out, why won't he present himself? And of course, you and I agree that the police did not handle the matter well.
Right.
You and I agree
Right.
that they handle it well.
Mm.
The way they handled it does not solve the matter.
Mm.
It does not bring solutions to the table. What they are looking for is response, not reaction. Put them down. What are the issues? Let us speak. Let us discuss the matter. All right. Job creation. Okay, this is what government is doing. This is what we are doing. This is what we can help with. Okay, this is what you can also do as citizens to help. And that is what Alan spoke about. If you look very well to at his DTP, the transformation plan, he talked about giving a change to attitude to work. He talked about discipline. He talks about corruption and petty theft. He talks about arrogance of power. He talks about passion for power. He talks about getting things done right. He talks about respect for the rule of law and patriotism.
Mm.
That is what, as citizens, we would have to look at. And what then would we have to do as people who are in the helm of affairs, as people who control matters? We need to give a strong economy, to have an agricultural revolution. We need to have an industrial transformation. We need to have a good energy security and diversification. That is what Alan is presenting.
Now, this election, Mr. Alan Kyerematen himself has said that the elections will not be a walkover for the NPP. He will be viewed by many voters who may have been way too young at the time when Alan Cash was the Alan Cash of the NPP, darling boy, so-called. They'll be too young to remember most of those days. Now, he admits that the election will not be a walk in the park. What makes you think that going solo, which was predicted by Mr. Benefsin not so long ago, will work the magic for Alan Kyerematen?
Jody, I think I lost it there. Just do me a favor.
So I'm asking, Mr. Kyerematen has said that, look, the elections for the NPP will not be a walkover in 2024. Mr. Benefsin predicted that he was going to go solo. He also predicted not so long ago that Kennedy Japan will come in the presidential polls of the NPP before Alan Kyerematen comes. So Bawumia, Kennedy Japan, and then Alan Kyerematen. That also came to pass. What makes you think that Alan Kyerematen going solo in an election that he himself has said will not be a walk in the park will be easy for him to win?
I think it's been a while I heard Benefsin's predictions come true.
So I'm telling you that in the last polls, he said that it was going to be Dr. Bawumia, Kennedy Japan, and Alan Kyerematen. Just so you know that at least in the last two polls that he did, they have come to pass. Your candidate was number 3 on that score. And then I'm looking also at the 7th of September edition of the Daily Dispatch front page. It says Alan's best option is to run as an independent presidential candidate, Benefsin. That has also happened because yesterday you broke away and announced this. So successively, two times back to back, he's gotten it right. Now, I'm asking you that how does your flag bearer think that an election that he says will be difficult, how does he think that going solo, will be the magic wand to win that election for him?
It would be the magic because, as I said earlier, I think that we're breaking away from the status quo. We're walking away from the geopolitics. And we are responding positively to the call of the many Ghanaians that forms more than 50% of the register. We are responding to the many who are unemployed, need jobs. We are responding to the business community that needs transformation, that needs somebody to push around the capital economy. We are sure because the captains of industry are with us.
I see. Well, Mr. Benefsin is joining us now. I'll ask you my final question, Mr. Sapon, and then go on to connect with Mr. Benefsin. Now, Henry Nana Boakye, who is the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, says Mr. Alan Chamansin's walk away is not fair to the party because the party was in the process or is in the process of ironing out the issues that he mentioned as a result of his pulling out of the presidential primaries of the NPP. Do you think that's a fair comment from Nana Bachi? Yes,
Johnny, I didn't hear Nana Bachi say that. Did he actually say that?
he said it. I can play it back to you if you want.
Was he the MC at the rally that saw the incident that happened? Was he the MC at that rally that they decided to interrupt Alan Chamantin's speech? Was he there? And is he telling me that they are now realizing that there is a process and they are initiating a process? Nana B should come again.
So listen to
the propaganda is not going to help.
Listen to Nana B. Listen to Nana B.
Johnny, there is no need to listen to Nana B.
Okay. Right.
I think that we need to move forward.
Okay.
What we do is to give hope to the Ghanaians. All right. If Nana B was the MC at that rally and saw what happened and didn't say nothing, if Nana B has been listening to what has been happening and hearing some leaders of the party say what they have to say against Alan Chamantin, this continuous intimidation, then he has no voice to speak today.
Nana Sapon, I thank you very much indeed for your time. We're grateful. Nana Sapon is an aide to Mr. Alan Chamantin. We're grateful for your time this morning. Come on.
I can confidently tell you, and I'm aware that the national chairman representing us visited him in his house where they had a fruitful discussion. So to us, we made an effort, and I know